movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com. Thanks for listening.
The shirts for the Buckeyes. Oh, here we go. It's playoff night. Playoffs. Or Final Four, round one. Woo! I'm not on round one here. We have the Smithicks out of Ireland. Hold on, please. Oh, I told you a while back I'd have a co-host starting in January. He's a bum. Can never get him. I got game day on back there. We're going to talk Final Four. I can't wait. We're live on X for about 5 minutes just to get the juices flowing for y'all. And then you got to switch over to YouTube, watch the whole show. We're going to start out a little uncomfortable. Okay. I talk about everything, not just sports. Very sports heavy on the back half. Really only one or two uncomfortable non-sports topics to go over. Then we'll just stick to sports. Back half of this, we're going to talk Final Four, Ole Miss, Miami, Indiana, Oregon rematch, which is very exciting. And we'll get off the air before kickoff to the Ole Miss Miami game. I'm very excited for that. Before we get going, top left-hand corner, the QR code gets you to our ticketing platform. Really, it's somebody else's ticketing platform. Cost you no extra money, no hassle, no nothing. It's just the way you can support North American Talk Radio. We have all kinds of things happening. We have the Daily Dive, the only live Monday through Friday live lacrosse talk show on the planet, if I could talk. Live sports with Illinois Wesleyan, our partner. This show, we have drone footage and more coming up. We have mini documentaries, a lot going on here, folks, and more sports to come as well. So if you want to support what we're doing, that QR code, it simply takes you to the ticketing platform where you get the best price tickets. It's a popular name, but I want you to scan that, so I'm not going to say the name. All it does is tell them, hey, they must have came from North American Talk Radio. So, it cuts into their profit a little bit. We like that, right? All right, here we go. And again, if you're watching on X, this is going to end after about 5 minutes. Just as a way to get you watching and maybe switch over to our YouTube. That's where we really want to air this show. Boom. And then, I wanted to mention you can join North American Talk Radio. If you're a startup show or you're an established show, but you don't like your audience size, we are monetized on YouTube, 11,000 subscribers, upwards, close to. Got to build an audience there, and you'll be with a network with, daily shows, weekly shows, drone shows, documentaries, sports, and strength comes in numbers. So, feel free to reach out to us on our Contact Us page of natalkradio.com. We'll get you on board, and it can be pre-recorded. You don't have to go live. So there you go. Again, we're going to start out difficult. I'm sorry, but I talk all kinds of topics, sometimes politics, sometimes other things. We're going to talk about the ICE shooting. We do have graphic video. I hate to show it. I'm only going to show the worst one maybe once, but it is the talk of the world right now, at least America. And a lot going on. I have a lot of videos to show with this. I'm going to show the initial. Again, this is graphic. I'm sorry. It's all over the internet. If you haven't seen it yet, it's actually kind of surprising. But we have a protester blocking the street from ICE. ICE gets out, wants her to move. They're going to try to detain her. And this is a mother, her wife, is filming this. She hits the agent there. The agent shoots her. Unfortunate situation. And yes, she dies in that shooting. As you can see, she crashes into a car. And there's a lot of back and forth. Again, this has consumed the news. It's the typical things that you're going to hear. You know, the left is saying this was a murder. The right's saying he was defending himself. Everybody's going to, you know, kind of get entrenched in their beliefs. I didn't know this video was this long, but this is her wife filming. But I just wanted to pose some views of things. That's the agent that shot her. So you can form your own opinion, obviously. You're welcome to. But I just want to show you a few things. First of all, this is a conservative politician. So I'm going to have a take on why you need to listen to people from the other side. But let's listen to this first.
Okay, regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, when you found out that an ICE agent had shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis, you had some preconceived notions. If you were on the right, you were probably thinking that, well, given my understanding of the context and ICE carrying out its duties, chances are it was probably justified. But then you wanted to learn about the context. You wanted to see pictures. You wanted to see video. You wanted to see video from multiple angles. You wanted to get some idea of what had actually been going on and led up to this moment, because you wanted to determine logically whether or not your preconceived notion was accurate. And based off of what I've seen coming from the left, you cared about none of that. The only thing that mattered was that it was an ICE agent and a woman protesting ICE. And that's all you needed to know. Video didn't matter. Context didn't matter. History didn't matter. None of it mattered. It was all a question of whether or not it fit and helped your narrative. And if the answer was yes, then that's what you repeated. And if the answer was no, well, that was something to be ignored or manipulated. And this is why I'm just not all that concerned about the analysis or moral ramblings of people on the left anymore. Once you become uninterested in the facts, evidence, and context of a particular case and look at it purely through the lens of whether or not it helps your ideological narrative, you're no longer a reasonable person. You're just an ideologue. And so what's the point of trying to have a conversation to convince one another when you have literally set up conditions where you cannot be convinced? And that's where we're at.
And that's the problem in this country right now, is we have a large portion of people that they have what in their mind is a preconceived narrative, and all they hear is that. So, you know, there are a few people, both sides of the aisle, I think. You can argue Fetterman kind of leans in the middle or sits in the middle, that do want to hear all the facts, want to hear all the data. But there are a large amount of people that they've preconceived things before something like this happened. And then once they hear what kind of confirmation bias, it agrees with what they preconceived, that's all they hear. They don't want to hear anything else. So I'm hearing people say, well, she was swerving away from the officer. Well, here you go. That's not, okay, you could say that wasn't worthy of shooting. I'll let you argue that. But the officer was rammed into. Okay, now if you say, okay, you just played a conservative politician's take, here is a lifelong Democrat, liberal protester. Here's his take.
Don't take this personally, but everybody just shut the fuck up. Every single hot button issue that comes up, everybody becomes an expert on it. What happened in Minnesota, this woman who is now dead, sadly, she leaves a child and a wife. And it shouldn't have happened. I have a right to comment on this more than 99.9% of all of you. So listen to what I'm fucking saying here. Why? Because I am the protester. You understand this? For 35 years, this is what I've been doing. Thousands of protests, dozens upon dozens of arrests. And the reason I am still here, or I don't have stitches from a fucking billy club, or I don't have marks from a taser, is right here in this image. Every single time that I have been arrested, you will notice my hands I place behind my back as I am told when I get arrested. I do not resist. I do not spit. I do not curse. I do not struggle. I do not fight or be aggressive towards the authorities who are there to arrest me because when we protest, we step over a line that is there, and that line happens to be called the fucking law. And thank God in this country, we can step over that line sometimes, but we have to understand that we are now in a different zone because that cop over there, I think his kids got leukemia. That cop over there, I know, was in a bank robbery last night with the thugs and he got shot at, and he's back out in the street, but he's all high tension. And that guy over there, that cop, I know his wife is fucking a mailman. So I'm in the high tension area. And these fuckers have guns, batons, and tasers. We have a system in this country, it's called a court of fucking law. And whether I'm wrong or right in the situation, officer, I didn't do anything wrong. Put your hands behind your back. Yes, sir. And I will take that up with the judge and prove my innocence. I do not bring the courtroom right there at that high tension fucking moment. Do you get what I'm saying, people? So, this woman would still be alive. I don't think she was the kind of woman that would have done what she did, which was resist and be aggressive towards the authorities, as you see in the video, and you go fight about that. But let's get to the base here. The base is the wife is probably looking to sue Trump or the police or the ICE or this or the time. She needs to look at the Democrat, liberal politicians, community activists, and the fucking douchebag, motherfucking self-loathing, divisive cocksuckers in the liberal fucking media that tell her and those like her to resist arrest and be aggressively violent towards any authority.
So there's two things there. First of all, we'll get to the last thing he said, but he said before that, this is a high tension area. You don't know what these cops are going through. Well, I can tell you what the cop that shot her was going through. He's been dragged 300 feet before by a sexual offender that was let go and protected by the Minnesota government after he was convicted of, or pled not guilty of sexual assault, and then they tried to detain him. And this same officer,
agents were executing a warrant for 39-year-old Roberto Carlos Munoz. They say Munoz entered the country unlawfully, and he also pled guilty to fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct back in 2023 for abusing a minor. Tuesday morning, agents pulled him over. Court documents say he repeatedly refused to comply before a federal agent took out his spring-loaded window punch with his right hand and broke the driver's side rear window. These images show the officer's hand in the vehicle. In this video, you can see the driver take off with the agent hanging from the car, dragging him 300 feet through front yard.
So that's the same agent that just shot the protester yesterday. So that's what that liberal protester that I just played for you said. It's a high tension area. You don't know what's going on. You're protesting. That's fine. If you think you're protesting for a good cause, good. You're protesting something you believe in. But when they point their gun at you and say, stop, don't try to bring the courtroom into the street. Go to the courtroom. So he's an experienced protester. You would be alive if you'd listened to that advice. But what he said at the end is, you're not listening to that advice. You're listening to the fucking media that wants this. They want this kind of stuff. They have something to talk about. If we all got along, what the hell would they talk about? There's nothing positive on the news. They love this shit. So we got to stop falling for this. We have to stop thinking, like, if you think the way the administration is going about immigration and illegal immigration and detaining these people, that's one thing. But don't try to take matters into your own hands like that. You end up shot. All right. And now we're heading towards a civil war, and it should never be here. Like, seriously. And we have the first guy we played said, somewhere along the way in this country, everybody got these preconceived notions in their head before anything happened. And then when something happens, they don't want to listen to anything other than what solidifies or confirms what they already preconceived in their head was happening. Instead, we should listen to the facts. But, that's part of getting educated. When you get yourself, like, you go into a geometry class, you think you know what that's going to be about, but you're going to learn new things because your mind's open to learning new things. We should approach life that way in any form or fashion. Like, let's hear what happened. So there's so much bullshit out there and all this social media. It's tiring. And now we're just all fighting with each other. And guess what? You may like this media outlet or that media outlet. They're all against you. They want this. They want this chaos. That's how they make their money. We used to call it clickbait. Brad Pitt slept with 3 women last month. It's escalated now. Now it's escalated. The clickbait, they're making money off of us hating each other, and we got to cut it out. We have to freaking cut it out. Seriously, this is insane. We're going to get to civil war. Why do we need this? We're going to watch a college football semifinal tonight. That's a celebration of life. That's the things. We can't even get along with that shit either, by the way. People punching each other in the stands. But I still love sports. But all right, that was my one very uncomfortable topic. Feel free to chime in on YouTube. I'm cutting the X feed now because I never intended to go live the entire time on X. Okay, save changes. Yes, we would have stayed on YouTube. There we go. I think most of our viewers were X. What are you going to do? So now we're going to get into sports. I just cut out a lot of viewers, but what are you going to do? I mean, I wanted to do the first few minutes on X and then move on to YouTube only. But Lane Kiffin is an interesting character, right? He ordered his coaches back to Baton Rouge. Charlie Weiss Jr. staying. He's going to be the offensive coordinator tonight against Miami. But, and I should tweet out that we're on YouTube. I mean, we had a good amount of viewers. Sorry, I didn't mean to get squirrel. He let the coaches go coach or stay in Ole Miss and coach. And then he had a change of heart. And then he got a bunch of bad PR. And then he may have, wishy-washy. So Charlie Weiss Jr. is going to be the offensive coordinator tonight in the semifinal. And that got Jimbo Fisher pretty worked up. And I'm going to pull up the video of Jimbo. Here we go.
Selfish it is. It's stupid. He wanted a coach and thought he didn't get his way. So everybody get on the plane with me, you don't have a job. All right? And he makes them all go. Then he gets down there and takes a PR hit because it looks bad that you really don't care about the kids. Then he says, okay, you can go back. But
he thought they were going to lose.
He thought they were going to lose to Georgia.
Exactly.
And the portal thing was all over with, and it was going to be all over with. And he said, oh, I'll look like a hero. Yeah. Now he's got egg on his face because the real Lane came back out.
So we're going to play that one more time just because I'm tweeting out.
It's selfish. It is. It's stupid. He wanted a coach and thought he didn't get his way. So everybody get on the plane with me, you don't have a job. All right? And he makes them all go. Then he gets down there and takes a PR hit because it looks bad that you really don't care about the kids. Then he says, okay, you can go back. But
he thought they were going to lose.
He thought they were going to lose to Georgia.
Exactly.
And the portal thing was all over with, and it was going to be all over with. And he said, okay, I'll look like a hero. Yeah. Now he's got egg on his face because the real Lane came back out.
Yeah. I mean, that's Lane Kiffin's not, he's making a lot of enemies. And Jimbo Fisher's, spot on. It's selfish. It's stupid. Like, what are you doing? You can't go back and forth. The team's in the middle of a playoff. You left for LSU thinking that's your best chance to win a title. And you're like, oh, crap. They didn't lose in the first round like I thought they were, or the second round against Georgia like I thought they were going to. Yeah, you're starting to look stupid. And I'm with Jimbo Fisher on that. You're starting to look dumb. Like, what are you doing? Once you told them they can coach in the playoffs, that should have been final. You can't go back and forth like that. Now he's creating chaos at Ole Miss. It's unfair to Ole Miss. I kind of wanted Indiana, Miami, but man, that makes me want to root for Ole Miss, although you'll see my picks here later. But, what is this guy doing? I mean, if you want to be the enemy, you're doing a good job of creating a case for why you should be the enemy. Speaking of which, Demond Williams Jr. of Washington. This is weird, right? This is weird. Demond Williams Jr. signed a contract with the Washington Huskies, right? It was for $4 million revenue sharing deal. He signed it not too long ago. Like I want to say a week or so ago. He threw for 3,065 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 25. There's a buyout clause at the school's discretion. And then 2 days ago, he decides he wants to enter the portal. A lot of people suspect the same name we've been talking about, Lane Kiffin's to blame for that. The school's saying, no, we're not falling for this. We're not doing this with you. You have, a buyout clause. We're not allowing you to enter the portal. They can block him. They can recover money. They can keep him from transferring, which would be very awkward next year if he was forced to play for Washington when he tried to enter the portal. This is the first time. So before we get into the other issue that's going to, I think college sports is going to be tanked at some point. It's going to be minor league. But before we get into that, his agent, who at first kind of took Damon's side and said, well, he had a change of heart, blah, blah, blah. The school should release him. The agent has stepped down. I've made the decision to end my representation of Damon Williams immediately due to philosophical differences. I don't think the agent really wanted to go through this lawsuit that's being lodged and said, yeah, I'm going to cut ties. I'm out. So here we go. College sports, absolute crap show. Here's the problem. I heard Rick Neuheisel's show on College Sports Network on Sirius today. I love that show. And he made a good point. And then I heard Booger from ESPN, what is it, Booger Williams or something like that. He was on another show this afternoon on the College Sports Station. They both said the same thing. This NIL hit, this unlimited transfers hit, but there's no guide rails, right? There's no enforcement. It's become the Wild West. And all these coaches have been speaking out saying, we need guide rails. We need, contracts, that they have to be held to, things like that, or this is going to get out of control. This is now out of control. Now, on the Rick Neuheisel show, I did hear that there is a current lawsuit in litigation with a player from Georgia. This is going to be high profile. Damon Williams, high elite quarterback, just signed this huge, literally days ago, signed this huge contract. Now wants to back out of it and enter the portal. Again, a lot of people suspect it's for LSU. And it's going to go to court. So, I mean, something's got to give, right? We either make this semi-pro, just go full stop and go semi-pro, or the NCAA, who habitually sits on their fucking hands and rakes in money and does nothing about any of this, needs to get their shit together and start putting up some guide rails and start putting up some hard rules about how we're going to handle this. I think it's got to be guaranteed contracts. When I say guaranteed, I mean if the player signs a contract for a year, they have to stay the whole year, or they don't get the money, or they pay it back, whatever. There's got to be some kind of format other than everybody just do whatever you want to do, right? All this money, nobody knows what it's for, what it does, what it helps. I know this guy doesn't care. Mark Cuban, famous Indiana alum, richest one too. He donated last year to Indiana's NIL, and then he just donated this year. And when he was asked, how much did you donate? He didn't want to say the exact amount. He said, let's just say they're a lot happier this year than they were last year. Okay. So I think a lot of money's been sent to Indiana's way. And hey, good for them. Good for them. Unbelievable stuff. I mean, college sports is just out of control. You got to love it, right? Yeah, I'm breezing through these because I do want to go into the Final Four. I have one more non-sports. We'll spend about the last 15 to 20 minutes talking about these games. We have 51 minutes until kickoff, which puts us at about 45. So it looks like 7:45 kickoff. This show will definitely be over before that. Talking fast. Folks, thank you for watching so far. I am the Gamble Guy. This is what just happened. We just blew through a half hour. Oh, that's what she said. We just blew through a half hour, no effort. We'll be back in a little bit. My twin brother, Jeff Beck from Jeff Beck Health and Wellness. His message says something about Daily Dive. It was pre-recorded for Daily Dive. When you see that commercial, don't be confused. We'll be back in about 2.5 minutes. What just happened?
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com.
Happy holidays from Jeff Beck Health and Wellness. And you're seeing this on North American Talk Radio because the network is near and dear to my heart, kind of a passion project. I'm hoping you're having a great holiday season. Hopefully it's not too cold where you're at. The snow has melted here in Ohio. You can see in the background. But I wanted to extend a warm welcome and let you know that if you're dealing with weight management, behavioral change, stress, depression, relationship issues, I am a certified health and wellness counselor trained via Cornell and Yale, and I am a nutritional coach trained via the NASM. And I would love to extend an opportunity for you to reach out. JeffBeckWellness.com is my website, or JeffBeck101021@gmail.com is my email. We're offering a free initial consultation, no charge to you. Once we go into full counseling, I can help you submit that to your insurance company or your employer. Many employers reimburse for these types of services. So, we all deal with things from time to time. Please reach out, JeffBeckWellness.com, or email me, JeffBeck101021@gmail.com. And I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're enjoying the current programming you're watching on North American Talk Radio. Keep your head up. Be friendly. Be happy. And again, I hope it's a great winter for you and a great holiday season. Take care.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com.
If you're watching this on YouTube and you started on X, we only air the first few minutes on X. Then you got to switch over to YouTube. I'm not going to give it. We're going to air on YouTube. That's what we do. I'm only saying that because, our numbers went down a little bit after I cut the X feed.
Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time?
Yeah, folks, this is where I air it. I only did the X thing I just wanted to try it, right? I just wanted to try it. I'm sorry. Oh, I got some good news for you sports fans that don't like announcers. Oh, do I ever. What just happened? Peacock. Oh, I love Peacock. I do like the app, actually. They're doing, so when I had 12 Ounce Sports, I had this idea. Why have announcers? Just have stadium noise. Although one of our guys, Michael, he likes doing play-by-play, so we never really went that route. But I think it's kind of a cool concept that they're going to give you the option to where you can mute announcers and adjust the crowd volume. So, maybe if you have a giant TV, you feel like you're in the stadium. Be kind of cool, right? Right? Yeah. I think that would be kind of cool. It'll be interesting to see if they'll keep data on just how many viewers actually mute the announcers. If they do roll this out next season, I say they have Dak Prescott there. I assume they'll try to attempt it during football season next year. If they do roll it out for football season, I want to see the data. I'm just curious of how many people don't want to hear the announcers, because a lot of the banter I hear online is criticizing the announcers. I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like her. Okay, well, now's your chance. I want to see the data. It'll be very interesting. I'm getting text messages. 45 minutes till kickoff. Miami and Ole Miss on ESPN. I love it. What I don't love is the U.S. housing market. Good luck, kids. It's hit an all-time high, most expensive, most unaffordable, I guess we'll word it. U.S. housing market hits most unaffordable level in history. Home prices and rates are crushing buyers. Couple that with, a somewhat stagnant wage increase, over the years. I mean, I think the federal minimum wage is still like from the 20 years ago. I mean, states have their own, but I mean, how the hell this is so, people get on, TV and say, oh yeah, the average home buyer is now like 40 some years old. It used to be in the mid 20s. Well, wages aren't increasing with the cost of homes. Wages aren't increasing with the cost of goods. Where the hell do you people think this money is going to come from? Right? And then the current administration comes out with this cockamamie idea of, well, we'll come out with the 50-year mortgage. The 50-year mortgage is a really bad idea. Hear me out, kids. It's a terrible idea. Unless you buy the home when you were 20, a 50-year mortgage is, Dave Ramsey used to say, the new status symbol in America isn't owning a BMW. It's having a paid off mortgage, right? You're not going to pay off a 50-year mortgage. Are you shitting me? And then the administration comes out with that. That's a terrible idea. It's a terrible financial decision to take out a 50-year loan. I pay 25 to 30% extra every month so I can pay my house off about 10 years early. I had a 30-year fixed. I want to pay it off in 20 or less. I put, a couple $100 extra every month on my mortgage. It goes towards the principal. How are kids supposed to make it? I have a 25-year-old daughter. She's nowhere near capable of buying a home right now. But they're calling for another bubble. Like, what are these young people supposed to do? So if you're a parent of a child, close to leaving the nest or just recently leave the nest, go easy on them a little bit. The odds are stacked against them. They grew up on social media. They all think they can be YouTube stars. Everything costs more. Wages haven't really raised with everything else. And now we've hit the most unaffordable level in the history of home prices with high rates. So I'm not even sure what the rates are now. I think they're below 7, but they got to be around 7. Christ, I'm sub 3. I don't know how young people are supposed to make that work for them. It's insane. What also is insane is LeBron may not qualify for postseason awards. Now, he's doing this at age 41. I mean, dude, the ball's at almost the top of the backboard. He's 41 years old. Yeah, I played tennis last night. I'm 52. I don't know how many steps I got in at tennis. I was a little rusty and a little tight. I was off a couple weeks. Let's see if I can find out. I was off a couple weeks. I mean, I got a lot in yesterday. All right. About 4.5 miles I ran at tennis yesterday. Okay. That doesn't mean I can dunk like that, but I ran 4.5 miles in tennis yesterday at 52. I could barely get out of bed today. Okay. barely get out of bed.
Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time?
It would have been nice if you brought an egg to bed, and breakfast in bed. But he's missed enough games this year because he's out tonight that he either has to play the remaining regular season games, or if he doesn't qualify for postseason awards. That's pretty crazy for a guy that gets them every year. Arguably the best, if not the second best player in the history of the NBA. So we'll see how this plays out. I don't know. Does he care? Maybe he doesn't care anymore. Maybe LeBron doesn't care anymore if he gets postseason awards. He's gotten every award you can imagine at this point. So maybe he doesn't care. I know at 41, maybe you need some load management at this point. I think he got criticized in his early 30s for load management. 41, I can understand. Right? I can understand that. When we come back, I'm going to take one more quick break. I need a drink of my Smithwick's. We're going to go college football semifinals. Ole Miss, Miami tonight, Indiana, Oregon rematch tomorrow. I'm going to bring the tail of the tape for you. And gamble guy. I'm the gamble guy. I'm going to make a couple picks. There we have it. We'll be right back. You are watching What the Hell Just Happened. We talked the ICE shooting, U.S. housing market, Lane Kiffin, all kinds of sports, Beb. We'll be right back.
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and subscribe today. Buy event tickets straight from our website to help the cause and get tickets to your favorite events for less. That's natalkradio.com.
BetUS and North American Talk Radio have partnered to bring you the preferred betting platform in the United States, and you will get a deposit bonus of up to 150% if you use promo code 120Z. Take it from me, I'm a cowboy and a gambler. I wrangle my bets on BetUS, and I use the promo code 120Z to get free money. Yee-haw! That's BetUS and promo code 120Z.
Happy holidays from Jeff Beck Health and Wellness. And you're seeing this on North American Talk Radio because the network is near and dear to my heart, kind of a passion project. I'm hoping you're having a great holiday season. Hopefully it's not too cold where you're at. The snow has melted here in Ohio. You can see in the background. But I wanted to extend a warm welcome and let you know that if you're dealing with weight management, behavioral change, stress, depression, relationship issues, I am a certified health and wellness counselor trained via Cornell and Yale, and I am a nutritional coach trained via the NASM. And I would love to extend an opportunity for you to reach out. JeffBeckWellness.com is my website, or JeffBeck101021@gmail.com is my email. We're offering a free initial consultation, no charge to you. Once we go into full counseling, I can help you submit that to your insurance company or your employer. Many employers reimburse for these types of services. So, we all deal with things from time to time. Please reach out, JeffBeckWellness.com, or email me, JeffBeck101021@gmail.com. And I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're enjoying the current programming you're watching on North American Talk Radio. Keep your head up. Be friendly. Be happy. And again, I hope it's a great winter for you and a great holiday season. Take care. Final Four time. All right, let's get to it. What just happened? The Gamble guy. Hey, ayo, hey, how you doing? How you doing? I love it. I love it. Playoff football. Ole Miss, the U. Tail of the tape in my pick. I'm going to give you some picks courtesy of BetUS, promo code 12OZ. That is the preferred betting platform of North American Talk Radio. Let's get into it. Miami, Ole Miss. Computers think Miami has a 57.1% chance to win. The public thinks, I'm going to update the public here because make sure I have I logged in. I am logged in. Okay, let's see. Where's the public money? Where's the public money? There we go. Public disagrees with the computers. So 57% of bets are on Ole Miss. And, well, 51% of the money is on Miami. You're saying, well, what's the line? That's the important part. Currently on BetUS, we'll refresh this too in case it moved. Miami is laying 3. Ole Miss is getting 3. What's going to really come down to is, Chambliss is on absolute fire. I mean, he looked like a video game quarterback against Georgia. Some of his crazy scrambles to make things happen late in the game when they got down 21-12, fought their way back. He's got 300 and some yards more passing this season than Beck. Kewan Lacey's got, 500 yards more than Fletcher. Tony's got 1,008 yards receiving for Miami. Wallace has got 894. These are the leaders. I think what it's going to come down to is this Miami defense. You saw them tame a Texas A&M team that was very potent, right? Very potent. Now, we had high winds. It did affect, the passing game. It affected the kicking game. But the bottom line is that defense is absolutely legit for Miami. So the pressure they're going to put on Chambliss, the pressure they're going to put on Ole Miss's line, will that have enough effect? Because Ole Miss, if this gets into a shootout, that's Ole Miss's favor, right? That plays into Ole Miss's hands. They want to have a high-scoring game. They don't want to have a repeat of the Miami Texas A&M game. They saw Miami hold Ohio State to 14 points. Wah, wah. So, where's Ole Miss going to get points? I think it's going to be hard for them to run. I think they're going to have to do misdirections, screens. They're going to have to get Chambliss on the run. It's going to be very interesting. On the other side, though, and why I think we're going to see probably the under hit in this, 53 is the over-under, is I think Ole Miss has a strategy that I was hoping Ohio State would take, which is put 8 in the box, force Carson Beck to beat you with his arm. Carson Beck has not beat anybody with his arm this year. Okay? I don't think there's been a single game this year where Carson Beck had to win it with his arm. Right? Miami likes that slow, drag them out, grind it out, drag them down type football game. Now, I can go through Miami's schedule, and there's some weak opponents. I'm talking about the good opponents they played, kind of a lower scoring. I know they beat Notre Dame, I think, 27-24. I think Ole Miss can force Miami to be one-dimensional. You take that run game away from Miami because Miami wants to shorten the game. They want 15 play drives, nickel and dime you, work their way down the field and score, take 6, 7, 8 minutes off the clock. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Carson Beck just torches Ole Miss and that plan backfires. All I know is Ohio State didn't go for that plan, right? We had a breakdown in the friends text. I was showing them some X's and O's where Miami quickly figured out if the Z goes in motion, the way the Ohio State defense rolled, the safety had the A gap, and then they just run it in the A gap. And if you make the safety miss Fletcher, a running back, again, a big running back, big, strong running back against the safeties, usually not a good winning recipe for the defense. Miami was popping them off that way. Imagine if Ohio State somehow took that away, because I don't think Carson Beck threw a lot of passes. I'm going to look the box score up. He only threw 26 passes. In this day and age, that's nothing. Sayan threw 35. And Ohio State, habitually under Ryan Day tries to overrun the ball in big games because he gets conservative. So that's Ole Miss's angle right there. Now, I've seen Carson Beck at his best. I know he was healthy. Georgia knew he was going to be healthy. They let him ride. Georgia must have knew something. I'm tempted to take Miami here. I don't think I want to lay the points. This could be a 21-20. I think I'm going to take the money line at minus 160, but I think that's where I like my money on Miami, just because this defense is scary good, and they've seemed to lock in. They got Michael Irvin on all fours barking at people on the sidelines. I could be way off. But the SEC has not impressed me. They're 4-9. 2 of those wins are against another SEC team, so they're really 2-7 in bowl games and playoffs. I think they're getting exposed a little bit against really good defenses. We saw it with Alabama only scoring 3 against Indiana. So I think this Miami defense is good enough that they could shorten this game, turn this into a bare knuckle fight. And I'm liking Miami like 21-10, or I'm sorry, 21-20, 21-17, somewhere around there. That's that game. Let's get to the other one because I got a pregame. Oregon, Indiana rematch. It's tough. The old saying, it's really, really tough when you have 2 really good teams to beat the same team twice. And it really is. That's the truth, right? You learn a lot about each other. Both teams learn a lot, right? But Indiana, psychologically, their players are thinking, we beat them in their house. We got this. Even the simple thought of we got this could be a little bit of a lost edge there. I don't know. The computers completely disagree. 70% chance for Indiana to win that. I'm going to go to the public money real quick. The public is like, we saw enough. The public's like, we saw enough in the first matchup. 65% of the bets, 66% of the money is on Indiana. The Ole Miss Miami, it was kind of 50-50. It's 2/3 to 1/3 in this one. People are going for Indiana. Right? So let's look at what are we looking at here, okay? We all know Mendoza. Mendoza more have similar stats. Hemby of Indiana's got the better run game. There's no doubt about that. But what we saw with Oregon's defense is maybe something we didn't see a lot in the first matchup here is the defense is kind of locked in. They shut out a very high profile, very potent Texas Tech offense. At least we thought they were, right? At least we thought they were. I mean, James Madison dropped 34 on Oregon. 21 of those were after the game was pretty much well out of hand. But then Indiana, shut Alabama down. Could we have 2 very low scoring Final Four games? We could. We could very well have 2 games that go under because the over-under on this is less than the Ole Miss Miami game, even though I feel like the Ole Miss Miami game is more prone to be very low scoring. I mean, Oregon, Indiana combined for 50 last time. The over-under is 49. Very convenient by Vegas. The thing is these 2 teams played. Do you think that's an advantage to the offenses or the defenses? I think it's an advantage to the offenses. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game than it was last time. I like a 35-28, 35-31. I'm taking the over in the Indiana-Oregon game. Believe it or not. I know that's crazy. Oregon's coming off a shutout win. Indiana held Alabama to 3 points. I still like the over here. It was combined 50 last time. It's over under 49. I feel like the offenses have a little bit of an advantage after playing each other once because they didn't unload the playbook, right? The defenses played, who knows? I'm the gamble guy. I'm making fun of people that think they know everything. We're all an expert before the games are played. I'm going to take that back, though, because I didn't want to do the over-under. I'm sorry. I didn't want to do the over-under on the Oregon-Indiana game. I do want to do it on the Miami-Mississippi game. I'm taking the under 53 on – I remembered I wanted to bet the line. Oregon won by 10 last time. Or I'm sorry, Indiana won by 10 last time. Indiana's minus 3.5. I feel like that's an easy bet. I think I'm going to lay the 3.5. I think that's a fairly easy bet there. So if I took the under 53 in the Ole Miss Miami, and I laid the 3.5 Indiana, right? Let's see what I'm getting on Bet US. Where's my plus 252? I love it. So for you cheapskates, if you bet 5, you win 1263. If you bet 50, you win 126. If you bet 500, you get 1262. Not a huge payout. I'm not against betting safe, right? So 50. You bet 50, you get a buck and a quarter back. That's pretty good. Plus 252. That's what I'm doing. Under 53, Ole Miss, Miami, minus 3.5, Indiana. I think they're going to win both games. It's different with Cignetti, right? Cignetti's different. I know it's tough to beat the same team twice, but the Fighting Cignettis are a different animal. Nobody thought the Alabama-Indiana game was the most watched playoff game in the history of college football. There's a reason, right? Everybody thought they were going to get brought back down to reality, smacked in the mouth, and then people stuck around and kept watching because they're like, what the heck are we want? This team's way better than we thought. Nick Saban knew it. Nick Saban said he went golfing with Alabama buddies. They said, we ought to kick the crap out of Indiana. And he said, what are you guys talking about? Do you guys know what you're talking about? They're a really good football team. I think we're going to have I was about to say, I think we're going to have Miami, Indiana in the title. But you know what? I wouldn't be upset if it was Ole Miss. We talked about Lane. We talked about Lane Kiffin catching some shade, right? Wishy-washy with his coaches. And then Jimbo Fisher calling him selfish and stupid. Man. I'm going to give you full disclosure of why I was hoping it was Miami, Indiana here in a minute. But it would be kind of cool if Ole Miss made the title. It really would. With Lane back home or new home, and he called most of the coaches back. Only Charlie Weiss Jr., the offensive coordinator, has stayed to coach the team. And I think 2 other guys, like a running backs coach and somebody else. But the wishy-washiness of Lane Kiffin and saying he wanted to go where he had a better chance, and then Ole Miss makes the title game, that would be kind of cool. But I'll tell you, the Gamble guy was adopted, and the first shirt my parents bought me, it said world's greatest quarterback. And so when I first watched a football game on TV, I heard the announcer called Miami of Florida Quarterback University. And I remembered that shirt. So I liked Miami University before my grandpa, educated me. You're from Ohio, Northeast Ohio. We're Buckeyes fans. So I liked both teams. I always liked Ohio State, Miami of Florida. Through the time I went to the military and everything like that. In fact, I wasn't invited to some parties when Miami of Florida and Ohio State played in the championship. My buddy John let me come to his house because he knew it didn't matter to him as much. And then, Miami of Florida got in that ugly, ugly brawl with helmets off, swinging helmets against Florida Atlantic or somebody. I was like, yeah, I think I've had enough of them. And then I graduated from Purdue, so I'm a Purdue and Ohio State fan. You always have to have 2 teams. You have to have a backup. But I still have a little bit of a soft spot for the U, especially with Michael Irving on the sidelines, because that's when I really loved them. I was about 15 when he played for them, I think. 15, 16. So I'm kind of indifferent in that game. I have a soft spot for Miami of Florida because of my childhood, but then I also the Ole Miss story would be so cool after their coach abruptly left them right before the playoffs. It's a head scratcher. Like, what do you mean you have a better chance at LSU? You're in the playoff with Ole Miss. And then he's wishy-washy with his coaches, causing chaos. And And then the Washington quarterback signed a contract. Now it sounds like he's trying to transfer to LSU. Lane Kiffin is a menace, which may compel you to root for Ole Miss. That's why I didn't really pick a team in that. I'm taking the under 53. I was afraid to pick a team in that game, so I'll just go the over-under. Why not? But I do love the Indiana story. I do love Curt Cignetti. I think he's what college football needs. So I'm taking them minus 3.5. Nothing against Oregon, but I'm a Big Ten guy, Ohio State, Purdue guy. I got to pick one team, right? Fighting Hoosiers. There we go. We fought our way through a show by ourselves. Supposed to have a co-host. I didn't. We had a couple uncomfortable topics, the ICE shooting, the U.S. housing market, Lane Kiffin, all that. We got through it. Sorry to the X users. I know we had a lot of viewers that we lost after I cut the feed to X. This show's it's not meant to air on X only or X at all. I just wanted the first few minutes to air, try to entice you over to YouTube. Maybe next time you'll come back over. Other than that, though, it's been fun. I'm getting dry, getting a little verklempt, so I got to get a drink. I got to get my Smithwick's. Good stuff. I got to go off air, and I got to get it ready for this game. You get ready for more content on North American Talk Radio. We have good stuff coming up. Short little documentaries, drone footage, the Daily Dive, Daily Talk Show. I might be back this weekend for NFL picks. We'll see. If I shit the bed in college, I won't be back. So there you have it. Folks, thank you for watching. What just happened?
You're listening to North American Talk Radio, the all-new talk radio station featuring sports, movies, politics, mental health, and more. Check us out at natalkradio.com and